Well, welcome back to the Dare to Be Great, Dare to Be You podcast. My name is Shawn Langwell, and I am your host. And we are making our way through this wonderful book that I wrote in 2023 called Today's the Day. Um, we're doing back-to-back episodes today. So the last one was super short because the cat was interrupting me, and that's part of life. You just kind of got to roll with what happens when it happens and keep moving forward. And kind of apropos, I stopped there because I wanted to leave on that last chapter, which we left with "Be yourself always," and we left off with "I am free to be me," and I think that's really appropriate. It's the title of this show: "Dare to be great, dare to be you." Free to be ourselves is something that I struggle with still on a daily basis, of letting people see the real me and trying to have that balance and in between in the middle of that is also this great grand fear that really holds most of us back. And it's about change. It's about fear of the unknown. It's about fear of rejection. I mean, there's 101 different fears. We're going to dive right into this. I'm not going to give it too much setup other than what I already have. And the cat's laying down and purring like a kitty, like a good kitty should. So here we go. Embrace fear, change, and the unknown and do it anyway. A white-knuckled grip is not the solution to overcome fear of change and the unknown. Ask anyone in recovery, and they will quickly tell you that selfishness, self-will, and self-centered fear are the roots of their problem, not booze or drugs. Whether you suffer from addiction or not, knowing this does not make a damn bit of difference if you continue to implement strategies that don't work. But so many of us are creatures of habit, gripping tightly the steering wheel of our lives, thinking that we are in total control, that everything in our lives is for and about us. Really? I used to think that too until a friend said, "It sounds like you're pretending to be God. If you think you are that powerful," he continued, "when's the last time you stopped away?" So, what needs to change and why should we embrace it? Maybe you don't. But if there are areas of your life that are causing you pain and not fulfilling your soul, you may want to look closer at what is in your way. My guess is you won't have to look too deeply. In all probability, the chances are it's your refusal or resistance to change. And beneath that is fear. So the solution starts with courage, courage to want to change. Then comes willingness, followed by a plan. So what's your plan? To stay where you are, stuck? Or find the inner warrior and enough courage to want to change, to start to get better. Yes, we can make different plans, decisions, and do something new, but most of us won't or don't because we are too afraid of that which we cannot taste, touch, feel, or see. Some of the greatest accomplishments and joys in my own life have happened when I showed up, did something new, and got the hell out of my own way. When I allowed the universe to work in and through me and others to create something far more magnificent than I could ever have imagined or produced solely by individual effort. For example, many years ago, I went on a mission trip to an orphanage in Mexico with members of a church I was attending at the time. We were there to serve. My task with the pastor's daughter was to renovate a trailer for a doctor who would be moving in to serve the community, including the many orphans who lived and went to school there. The work was exhausting, cleaning, painting, and installing towel bars and paper towel holders, but also gratifying. This may seem mundane to some, but for me, it felt like I was doing something important, God's work. By giving to someone else who would also be giving their time, compassion, and expertise to those in need, it made the long working hours with little sleep seem more important and bigger than my own selfish interests. I don't know who the doctor was or how many kids they may have helped in their time of service at the orphanage. I don't need to. The point is, for that week, I showed up willing to serve someone I didn't know because that was why I was there. I had a clear purpose, even though I didn't know the details. And so it is with our everyday lives, in our families, at work to strangers in the in our families, at work to strangers in the checkout line at the grocery store, with whomever we meet, wherever we go. If we show up ready to serve and listen, we can do no wrong. We don't need all the details. Sometimes trusting our gut, skills, and instincts are more than we will ever need. We didn't paint the place perfectly. We didn't have the right tools or even the right brackets and mouth towel bars. We didn't know what our work assignment would be. It didn't matter because we were willing to show up, serve, and embrace the unknown. We did the best we could with the tools, resources, and skills we had. Isn't that all any of us can do? Today is a great day to take a chance by doing what you can, the very best you can, then leave the results up to the universe. As we do, we will know that is enough. Finding our why, out with the old to make room for the new. Most of us have too much junk in our heads, fears, worries, doubts, appointments, obligations, deadlines, etc. Like an overstuffed garage, our minds become filled with hundreds of things that we no longer use or need, like broken TVs or outdated computers or old clothes that no longer fit, and scores of other things that have outlived their usefulness. As a result, we feel weighed down, unmotivated, if not downright lazy. Worse, we keep wasting time thinking and worrying about things we can't control, which only adds more stress. To feel better about ourselves, we must become willing to let go of some of our habits and old ways of thinking, to stop believing the lies that we aren't good enough, that we have always been this way, and that we can never change. These statements are lies, lies we continue to say to ourselves and actually believe, which therefore become self-fulfilling prophecies, a negative feedback loop for our own perpetual doom. How destructive. But there are a few simple things we can do to disrupt the pattern of procrastination, worry, and feeling crappy about ourselves because we're not doing the things we think of, dream of, or want to do. Before we start, we must ask ourselves a few questions, starting with what do we keep and what do we get rid of? It's time for a mental garage sale, a few trips to Goodwill, or a dump run. Time to get rid of the old habits which are not fulfilling us so we can make room for the creative energy necessary to pursue what we really want and to clarify why we want it. What does getting rid of old stuff have to do with finding your why, purpose, or calling? If your garage is like mine, there's still way too much crap in it because it's still a cluttered mess, because you cannot yet decide what to keep, donate, or discard. So, like me, you likely procrastinate. My physical garage is a wreck again. We remodeled 2 years ago and have yet to do what I suggested above for our mental house cleaning. Bins marked keep and donate remain stacked in our garage. Plus, there's a dump pile 5 feet high in our backyard. It's normal to put things off that are not a priority. Cleaning the garage or doing a dump run are not priorities right now. So I guess you can say this is prioritization by planned procrastination, which is different than denial, avoidance, or pure procrastination, which are typically driven by uncertainty, laziness, or some type of fear. However, when our motives are clear and our desire or need is great enough, most of us will get into action and do what needs to be done. When they aren't, we won't. The truth is, most of us procrastinate because we are not clear about what we want or what the perceived benefits are. What's more, we also have a confidence and belief problem. We are not sure if the effort we invest will produce the results we want of our ability or if we have the drive to even get started. Instead, we keep adding to the crap that's already in our mental garage, and soon we can't find anything when we need it. We are not motivated to clean it, so the garages, mental and physical, remain cluttered. We remain scattered, unsure, blocked, and that impedes our ability to feel confident or productive. Hopefully, we will wake up one day and say, today is the day. Then make a decision to make a trip to the dump to clear out our physical and or mental garage. Is today your day to make a dump run? Change is not as scary as you may think. For those who are in the early stages of learning about the power of personal growth, growth, and developing a practice of perpetual self-improvement, know this: we all struggle with confidence. And most of us are procrastinators, especially when facing new things. A word of advice: when you feel the butterflies about something that makes you feel anxious or unsure, even terrified, muster the courage you already have within and do it anyway. That is how you will become more confident. Don't worry about making a mistake or doing things perfectly. We all make mistakes and we all fall down. Those who become better, even great, are the ones who keep getting back up again. Those who win never give up. This has been Dare to Be Great, Dare to Be You. I am your host, Shawn Langwell, making our way through Today's the Day until we get to chapter 78. And at this pace, folks, I hope you're enjoying the show. If you like it, share it, tell friends about it, follow, make a comment. I don't need any of that. I'm going to do this anyway because this is what I'm being called to do right now. But I encourage you to never give up on yourself. Keep pursuing what it is that you want and figuring it out as you go along, because life's way too short to stay stuck. This has been Dare to Be Great, Dare to Be You. I'm your host, Shawn Langwell. Until next time.